Everyone tells you to read more, but no one tells you the real reason that it works. It's not about knowledge, it's about activation. The right book at the right time doesn't just change how you think, it changes who you become. I didn't start reading to become more productive or chase some self-help high. I started because I was recovering. After years of burnout, I finally gave myself space. And in that space, I started searching. Not for answers exactly, but for resonance, for a thread to follow. And what I found wasn't one big idea, it was a series of sparks. Moments from different books that felt like they were written just for me, like they'd been waiting until I was ready to hear them. And when I strung them together, something lit up. I wasn't just absorbing ideas anymore, I was shifting, not just in my mind, but in the way I saw myself and what might be possible next. That's the superpower that no one talks about. Reading doesn't just inform, it aligns, it reveals, it activates. So here's my question for you. What's one book, even one line, you read at just the right time? The one that hit different. Not because it was brilliant necessarily, but because you were finally ready for it. Drop that book in the comments for me. I'd love to know what shifted something for you and add to my reading list. And if nothing's coming to mind, well, maybe that moment's still ahead. Because sometimes all it takes is just that one line to unlock something you didn't even know was waiting. So it's January, and I've just come off of a 2-week vacation. Mentally reset, emotionally open, and for the first time in a long time, not trying to force anything. I'm not chasing the next big thing. I'm not solving a complicated problem. I'm just reading. 10 books in that month, in fact. None are planned or premeditated, but each one somehow shows up at exactly the right moment for me. The first spark is "The feeling is the secret." I'm in bed, Kindle glowing softly in the dark, letting Neville Goddard's words drift into my mind, like a lullaby I've somehow known my whole life. I'd bought his complete works years ago, having yet to read any at this point. But this one, well, this is where I'm told to finally start on that journey. It's short, but every line lands. And the message is equally simple. How I feel now is already shaping what comes next. That idea doesn't just land, it roots. That book opens something in me. But it isn't the whole picture. Because next comes Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And this one, I have to go find it, literally. I bought it 4 years ago and never cracked it open. It's buried in a pile of unread books on the basement level of my house, actually. Tucked somewhere in a stack I don't even think about most days. And suddenly I find myself sifting, digging. Like some part of me knows this is the next one. And when I finally pull it out and start reading, it does indeed click. This is where things shift from theory to embodiment. That book teaches me how to visualize, not just dream of a future, but practice it. And as I start meditating, visualizing, feeling my way forward, something starts to return. A vision I hadn't seen clearly in years. YouTube. And this isn't some new career plan. This is something I started over 15 years ago at this point. A younger version of me, creating, sharing, experimenting, not needing any permission. That part of me comes rushing back like it had been waiting behind a closed door. It doesn't feel like an invitation, it feels like a welcome mat on my front porch. And then enter The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. I'm back in bed, Kindle in hand, casually highlighting as I go. I don't even realize the weight of what I'm underlining until later. There's this one line, "Who is feeling this emotion?" It sinks into my subconscious like a seed. And weeks later, it rises at the exact moment I need it. That book didn't ask for effort, it just asked for attention. Next up is The Courage to Be Happy. I just finished its predecessor, The Courage to Be Disliked, which is an overview of Adlerian psychology after a couple of failed attempts over the years. This time it finally lands, but still, it feels too theoretical. I want something that could live in my real life. So I looked up Adler's work, ready to go deep. And that's when I find this sequel, The Courage to Be Happy. This work is where it all started to land for me. It's practical, it's grounded. It frames happiness as something found in usefulness, in giving yourself away in service of others. And suddenly, YouTube isn't just an idea, it's a calling. Up next, Ikigai. I'm already on course at this point. I've hired a coach, I've committed to this path leading me to YouTube. Week 1 of the program is called The Awakening, and they introduce a concept I'd heard before but never fully explored, Ikigai. It asks 4 questions. What do you love? What does the world need? What can you be paid for? What are you good at? And something in me recognizes now is the time to dive deep on this concept. I buy the physical book, I highlight everything, and I don't just answer the questions, I blurt them out in a single go. Dream, dance, design, develop. Those 4 words rise from my subconscious, like they've been waiting for this very moment for me. They become my pillars, actually, my compass. The structure underneath everything I'm building right now. So reading didn't give me a single great idea, it gave me a path, one breadcrumb at a time. Reading isn't just about gaining knowledge, it's about tuning your frequency. When the timing is right, books don't just inform you, they find you. They activate something already waiting inside. But here's the thing no one tells you. The books that change you the most, you don't always know they're doing it. Sometimes the most important line is the one you barely notice until weeks later. It rises like a whisper at the exact moment that you need it. And that only happens when you're reading with your whole self, not just your eyes, your body, your emotions, your state of being. That's why for me, reading at night became a sacred rhythm. I wasn't reading to finish a chapter or hit a milestone. I was reading to plant ideas into my subconscious, to let them settle, to give my mind something beautiful to dream about. Because I wasn't just trying to learn something, I was trying to become something. And the most surprising part, that transformation didn't come from one book. It came from the synthesis, from the connections my mind made across different voices and times and truths. Reading did give me those breadcrumbs, but it was my awareness that charted the path. If you're in a season of searching, if you're gathering ideas, sitting with questions, or just trying to feel your way forward, well, reading might be the quietest, most powerful tool that you have. Not because it gives you all the answers, but because it helps you recognize the ones already inside. So here's your invitation. Pick up the next book that calls to you. Not the one you think you should read, the one that sparks something within, even if you don't know why. Read it just before sleep. Let it sit with you. Let it speak to you when it's ready. Because sometimes the smallest sentence can unlock the biggest shift. And the right words always arrive when you're ready to hear them. And if you're wondering what happens next, what it looks like to take that spark and turn it into real momentum, then go watch this video. It's all about the secret to mastering any skill, and how even the smallest effort can turn into something extraordinary.